Hey guys, it is Ted Bogert with the Ted Show. Welcome, Dale Takio, to the show. Very excited to talk to you today. You've got some cool stuff going on, and it's much needed during these crazy times that we're in. So I'm just going to look down really fast so I can share the show. But why don't you tell us a little bit about you? Welcome to the show. Give us a little origin story. People like to hear about you. And since we discovered that we've been 1.5 degrees of separation, is that what you
Yeah, I
said
think
for a
so.
long
Yeah.
time? I think it would be cool for people to hear about your story. So welcome.
Awesome. Well, first, thanks for having me on the show. Happy Good Friday. Happy Passover to everyone out there. Lots of good stuff going on. And in the midst of the chaos, I think it's bringing out really a lot of the best. A little bit about me. I have a deep background from my late teens, owning businesses, operating businesses, everything from restaurants to coffee shops to development firms, marketing companies, you name it, I've somewhere been diversified in it. That pathway brought me deeper into a technology side. I was fortunate enough to be here around 2005 to open up Florida expansion and a European expansion for OpenTable.com. Was part of their pre and post IPO team. After that, I then decided it was time to figure out how to go back into the entrepreneurial roots. But still along the way, still had my hands in some other things. Was fortunate enough to be part of the founding team of Groupon Getaways, launched that product, was part of their pre and post IPO teams. But my heart was always in the entrepreneurial side. So I saw a lot of opportunities to take the learnings from these giants that were out there that were changing the way that marketing was looked at and reinventing marketing, but figured out how to do it more on a local scale and help those that were nearest and dearest to my heart, which were the independents and the local businesses, and really make things where they were in control of the situation.
You really have a strong background then in what you do. I mean, that's Open Table, Groupon. Those are some big launches.
Yeah, I was right place, right time. I wish I could take all the credit for it, but I had great leadership behind me, and they gave me a lot of latitude to try and prove the successes with them.
So now you have two cards. Well, we're going to talk about multiple things, but you have Kids Eat for Free card and the VIP Dine for Less card.
Correct.
So talk about, those are obviously two different things. Talk about how that all came into play. You sort of referenced a little bit. You wanted to be more local. You wanted to take that technology and try to bring it more into the community. So what are those cards about, and how did you develop those specific ideas?
Yeah. So the Kids Eat Free card was actually originally a program, a very limited program under Virgin Holidays, one of the largest tour operators bringing tourists to Orlando from Europe. What they ran across, though, they were having a unique challenge of getting quality restaurants on board, where with the presentation of the card, it is exactly what it says, Kids Eat Free. It's all about the adult dollar spend, and it's about capturing tourists at the time of booking to then get them into our local venues and spending those dollars and keeping those transactions now direct between the consumer and the restaurant, rather than traditional marketing where agencies and firms, they kind of get in the middle and take a piece of the action. We're completely removed from that. Our job is to bring it right to the cash register. So in order to be a part of that for the local venue, what they're doing is essentially, instead of spending traditional ad dollars, their cost of acquisition is the cost of a kid's meal. So instead of spending $5, $10 to acquire a customer, cost of a kid's meal at $1.50, $2, they're only paying that when that transaction's been completed. So it becomes a pure performance-based platform. So coming right off the heels of Open Table, and been fortunate enough to have worked with many of at that time, about 30,000 restaurants, and notably some of the best restaurants in the world, it gave me a lot of credibility and a lot of street credit here in Orlando. That was now at that time an emerging dining market. So I was able to kind of reinvent the entire piece and connect all of those dots to really make it at first about the restaurant. and holding, highlighting their standards, their quality, and their service, to show that value proposition to all of our, anywhere up to our, what was last year, 78 million guests that came in. That becomes our target audience. So rather than traditionally the other way around, where we're selling the big theme parks, we're selling the big convention center, we wanted to show everything else that there is to do in Orlando, which starts with our dining scene.
Love it.
So that was instantly a huge success. Virgin Holidays said, yes, this is great. We want to be your first customer. I said, awesome, because I want to take this and I want to bring it global. And I want to go to every major tour operator around the world that's bringing people to Orlando. And they said, have at it. So next thing you know, we're working with upwards of 200 major tour operators around the world, both domestically and internationally, everybody from Expedia to Priceline to British Airways to lots of other companies that nobody's ever heard of, but still have a huge economic influence on our tourism dollars. So about a year and a half into that, it became so successful, both from the value proposition to our tourists or our guests coming in, saying, this is great. I'm saving hundreds of dollars a week. And I get to now, go in, instead of watching little Johnny and Janie play with their French fries and their chicken nuggets, I can reinvest that into an extra martini. Right. So what restaurants were now seeing was a unique dynamic that we weren't expecting. It was a unique anomaly where the average check was across the board significantly higher by giving something away for free. So we were getting regular reports anywhere from 105 to 110% average check coming through by giving away this discount, by building that trust directly with the restaurant.
Brilliant.
So that was a great side effect, which then next thing you know, we had restaurants lining up. How do we get involved? So when we have great partners on our participating list, like McDonald's, some of the largest grossing McDonald's in the world, right here in Orlando, seeing thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of passengers a year through this program, we knew that we were onto something big.
Yeah, it's amazing, actually. Like when I think about it. I didn't know the whole story, of course, because we don't do much R&D. So as you were speaking, I'm like, this is going to be such a big payoff for the restaurants. There's got to be an increase that they weren't expecting, the restaurants weren't expecting. Because when you give that, you're right. I mean, the first thing I thought of, because, booze is part of my life, man, I could invest that money into an additional martini instead of worrying about them paying for a meal that the kids didn't really eat that much anyway, or if they did, it's money that I could have invested into something else. So absolutely brilliant idea.
Thanks. So instantly what our travel partners came back and said to us was, well, this is great, but this serves, roughly about 35-40% of our demographic of families coming with children 11 and under into the Orlando market. What do you have for everybody else? Said, okay, well, let's noodle it around and let's figure it out. So we did an exploratory set of discussions with major players, major operators, dining, hotels, both in Orlando and Las Vegas, to see, does this scale? And if so, how do we position it and how do we transition it to hit those demographics, the adult demographic? And the Dine for Less card was born. Instantly, they understood the traffic. They understood that this was guaranteed foot traffic. Worst case scenario, nobody comes through, but they get SEO where we're regularly the number one referrer to their websites and complementing everything else they're doing. So they get all of that for free. Why not just sign up for us instead of paying Google a couple bucks a click, where you still don't know if they're going to come or not.
Right.
Then from the acquisition side, they're only paying through cost of goods. So we developed a program with certain criteria to say, listen, what we want to do is we want to have a compelling offer, a VIP offer that's out there. So if you're doing other discounting and you're, say, with a local magazine, spending $1,000, $2,000 a month in that magazine to offer a 10% discount, well, let's look at doing a 15% discount where you have no upfront costs, where you don't have to worry about recovering that. So when you're looking at a $2,000 ad cost, and you may be doing lots of those, you're now talking 9-10 times in revenue to break even. So they understood that very.
The magazine companies must have loved that.
Well, yeah, I didn't make a lot of friends on that. It's kind of hard to compete with, with not having ongoing revenue streams and then showing continued growth.
Amazing.
But the nice thing is we really are non-competing to our friends that are in the, in the traditional advertising sectors, because everything we do is pre-arrival. So I'm talking to that guest 9 months, a year, 18 months before they even step foot in Orlando. So that's when they're starting their dining decision process with us. Now, when they come on the ground, they're going to get hit with the flyers and the cabs at the concierge desks, and they're going to be information overload from what's available in town. But so there's still significant value to try and reassure and capture, and any healthy marketing program will be diversified.
So how does it work from the consumer's end for the Dine for Less card?
So there's two ways that they can get the card. We have it available for sale on our website, or through a lot of our travel partners. Expedia will sell the card directly to the consumer. Kids Eat Free card goes for $20, lasts for 90 days on a traditional card. Dine for Less card is $30. Each card is good for up to a party of 4, and gets discounts up to 25% off the check. So traditionally, it's positioned, if they are actually coming out of pocket on it, that in 1 or 2 dining experiences, they've broken even. However, the overwhelming majority of our distribution, about 95 to 97% of our distribution, is actually funded and subsidized by the travel partner. So when you have a travel operator that's saying, hey, well, we sell packages with air, hotel, Disney, Universal, SeaWorld tickets to Orlando, and we may be $10, $15 more than our competitor, maybe $100 more than our competitor. It's still anywhere from a $5,000 to $10,000 experience. Right. What they do is now they invest in their guest through our program and say, well, if you buy from us, we will give you this card. And now you'll have these hundreds of dollars of savings with unlimited cap savings.
A cool incentive.
Right? So it becomes a value add incentive, and that's been the overwhelming majority of what we do. Now with COVID, it was, literally we're watching the shutdown first with Europe. We're like, okay, that's continental Europe. But we're okay because UK is a big chunk of us. We're gonna be okay. Then a couple of days later, they shut down UK, and we said, okay, the faucet just got turned off.
Right.
So while that temporarily slowed down or suspended our day-to-day business, we still sit on amazing technologies, from mobile apps, the websites. We have a great team of developers that know how to pivot and adapt virtually instantly. So we said, well, let's take this time and let's not feel sorry for ourselves. Let's use this for the greater good.
Which is how we met finally, because you were on one of the COVID sites, or one of the foodie sites. You had put out there what you were doing, what you were offering, and what you're going to talk about. But that's where we finally connected.
Yeah, absolutely. And what we saw within there, what I personally saw, I said, oh, what can I do to help? I'm watching these people, put up posts on a Facebook page, and you see group after group coming up, and lots of great intentions. But I asked myself 2 questions. First, how do they compete with the guy who's coming with the post right after them? So they basically are now glued to all these groups rather than fulfilling their curbside service or their modified service. Then we have the other groups where these are all amazing people with great intentions, but while they're furloughed or while they're doing this in the interim, what happens in the recovery? Right. What happens when we keep on going? How are they going to sustain this to help the businesses rebound? And I said, well, wait a minute, our technology, we can change a couple lines of code and we can do this overnight. So born was the idea through a lot of collaborative partners. I know, you know Ryan Deming very well. He's a former business partner of mine, one of my best friends. He instantly came in and said, well, let's get some billboards up. Yeah, we'll donate some billboard space. We'll do all the graphic design for that. My web developers, Pictoria Studios and Michael Moran, said, okay, well, let's help you stand up all these redirects, and created MyOrlandoHeroescom so we could put these initiatives together. And then my internal developers, my internal teams, literally round the clock, just building up profiles to get everything that we saw as fast as we could online. If we saw that a restaurant was open, we want to get it published online, say, hey, these guys are open, right? That's all that people need to know, is a single source of what's their takeout status, what's their delivery status, or what's their overall operational status. The other side that we saw was, okay, well, we have these benefit programs behind it, and we have an established network of hundreds of restaurants just in the Orlando area. Well, let's take care of those that are our true heroes, that are on our front lines. And that we look at that as our hospitality workers and our first responders. Obviously, that does extend much further to, I was talking to my garbage guys the other day. Yeah, right. They're out there every day risking their lives. But what we had the ability to do is now instantly localize our program through our mobile technologies, where a card can be completely digital. We call them iCards. So you download the app, and instead of paying for it, just simply submit through a form if you are a hospitality worker or a first responder, and we will then instantly deliver you the download instructions and codes to get your own iCard. And we took it one step further and then extended the entire program to be 1 year. So now they'll get all of those benefits for 1 year, and make sure that we're also helping build that loyalty, right? Because a lot of these first responders and hospitality workers, there's an opportunity for a lot of new customers. So let's help them acquire them, but also retain those customers. So that's where we are today. So now we're just trying to get that word out that all of our programs are completely free. Any restaurant that signs up with us, it's free for life. Never a charge, never a fee. Our average partner has been with us, I think, about 8.9 years.
Wow.
Our restaurants typically only leave us if they go out of business. It's a sad day when it happens, but it happens. And then every once in a blue moon, somebody will have massive changes in their marketing strategy, and they might just strip the idea of discounting completely. But that's very few and far between. And right now, where we're at, I think current count before this call, we've added about another, I think we're about 150, 200 that have been added. And we have about another 350 in queue. Our goal is to get through those by the end of this weekend, and then just keep on opening up. Orlando's first and foremost, it's near and dear to our hearts. It's our hometown. But we also have to, now as we get more volunteers coming in to help us do the profile builds, we're going to move on to Vegas and New York and Virginia and California and the other markets that we also serve with our programs.
I love the whole concept is awesome. You've got a lot of love going on. I can only see part of the show when the comments going on off to this side. But I think what is so fascinating, again, it's that this community you realize, okay, we've got all this talent and we've got all of these people, and people really are hungry, no pun intended, to help people out. They want to find a way to utilize their talents. Maybe they've been furloughed, maybe they haven't. They still want to figure out how to give back and help everybody out and help the community out. So what a fantastic way, especially since I feel like hospitality has been just hit so hard. I don't think we understood how hard it was going to be. I've had a lot of restaurateurs on lately because that's been part of our initiative. And I'm just amazed at how stressful it is for them to keep open their doors. They don't want to shut down. They want to serve the community, but there's still a cost to that too. And so it's just, so how do people, tell us the website, tell us the best way people can get to you.
So the best and most consolidated way is MyOrlandoHeroes.com. We have now centralized all of the information to that landing page. And then from there, whether it's a hospitality worker that's looking for complimentary benefits, whether it's a first responder looking for complimentary benefits, they can just click through their respective links. Or if it's a local business that is looking to get their name up there, get the promotion, take advantage of our SEO. I think we average somewhere in the neighborhood of anywhere from 900,000 to 1.5 million unique visitors a month through our websites. So they're going to get traffic no matter what. The more information they give to us, right? There's certain limitations on what we can publish on our own without their permission. If they want their logos up there, if they want other unique links, if they want to provide us with copy of their bio, we'll put whatever they want up there. It becomes their page. They can change it as much as they want, as frequently as they want, if they want offers behind it. If they want to present, to have, we see a lot of the offers that they're promoting on the Facebook groups, come in 10% off, come in, we can put that up there dynamically, and we can change it dynamically for them. So they're not stuck with it. So if they want to be really aggressive with an offer and go 20% with a discount, and when we're in recovery, if they want to scale it back or remove it, we don't hold anybody hostage. We don't want a venue that is not fully engaged with accepting our guests. Because of that delicate balance we put in place, if the guest is not happy, then that reflects badly on all the major tour operators around the world, on us, and on the venue itself.
What I love too is that you're not just making it static. It's not a static, like you were mentioning earlier. It's not just a post on one of these wonderful pages that have gone up where they're saying we're still open. You all have this entire team and activity behind it to help drive people to that post, that's why those pages are amazing, because they're making connections like this, and they're making connections, but to have the ability to have an entire team behind you, especially now helping promote you, is just absolutely amazing. I think it's great. So MyOrlandoHeroes.com.
MyOrlandoHeroes.com.
That's amazing. All right, so I have to ask you, I ask all the guests this, and I'm going to share all that information. I know Dale will too, again. What are you doing to stay positive personally? What are you, people look up, like, you seem like a very positive human being. I've heard that about you anyway. But tell me what you're doing to stay that way, because it can be daunting, all the things that are going on.
Yeah, this might sound corny and cliche, but the reality of it is all of these pieces that we're working on, all of the idea of paying it forward. It has driven every aspect of every business I've ever had. And every business I've ever had have definitely faced lots of unique challenges, but we've always come out net positive. And when I had companies and I decided to either sell out, there was always a piece where they were sold to people that ran my companies. They had first rights of refusal, gave them the opportunities that I was fortunate enough to have, where somebody gave me a chance in life. Give that business, to them where, here's zero down, here's a low interest note, and let them keep on going. And knowing that I still have, from my first pizzeria that I sold to my GM, he is still to this day, 20 years later, super successful with it. And he's taken that philosophy and set up many of his workers with other businesses. He now owns one of the largest horse breeding farms in Paraguay, all from that little pizza shop. These mentalities and making it a way of our life and a way of our organization has always come back exponentially with new successes. And so that keeps me very energized and motivated, both from personal responsibility to my partners, my customers, my consumers, and even my peers. Then, of course, there's the business side. I'm an entrepreneur. I do like to make money, but that all comes only when you do these actions. And my wife, she doesn't really always get that. Me doing right now 20-hour days. It's like, well, things are calm now. You take a break. No, this is when we work overdrive. We have that responsibility to give back to everybody that has made us as successful as we are. And that, again, comes right back to every one of these hospitality workers, every one of these local businesses that gave us that chance, that believed in us, and believed in me. I was a kid that came from Jersey. I was
Me too. What part?
County, Northwest Jersey.
I was born in Bergen County.
Ah, okay. I won't hold that against you.
Right? Too close
So
to the city.
you stimulated all the turnpike jokes. People don't realize I came from cow
Oh
country.
yeah, the turnpike jokes, man. You are an absolute joy. Thank you so much for what you're doing. I think I'm feeling very inspired, and I would imagine that anybody who's watching or who will watch, especially in the hospitality world, is going to want to reach out to you because you are that inviting. It's refreshing, I have to tell you, and I really give you kudos. It's awesome.
Thanks.
So
And while we're there, even anybody that's out there, whether they know me or not, even if they want to ping me, private message me, I make myself very accessible and very available. Having been an owner operator, having consulted some of the largest restaurants in the world, both privately and publicly, I can help at least guide them through some of these challenges. I'm getting, 30, 40, 50 phone calls a day from friends that I know that are don't know where to go, don't understand these resources and the complexities. I'm fortunate enough to also have, one of the foremost legal teams behind me as well. That happens to be one of my best friends, is my general counsel. So we have access to things that, for us, it's not about charging. It's about doing the right thing and paying it forward. So those people that just have those little questions, that most small businesses do and don't know where to go, I'm more than happy to help either answer it if I can. If not, I guarantee I'm going to be 1.5 degrees of separation from somebody who does.
fantastic. All right, Dale Takio, guys, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Awesome.
Ted.
MyOrlandoHeroes.com. I will share it again, and so will Dale. Thank you. Have a beautiful weekend, my friend. We will catch up for sure.
You do the same, and happy Easter.
Happy Easter, my friend.
All right.
Have
Cheers.
a great one. Thank you.